So now with the permission of the chair, we shall now commence this Constitution Day celebration with the national song, which is now more than 150 years old. So I request everyone to stand up. Ladies and gentlemen, on the dash today, we are honored to have Justice K.R. Sriram, former Chief Justice of Madras and Rajasthan High Court. Our President, Justice C.V. Bhadang, President of Income Tax Appellate Tribunal, Ms. Malti R. Sridharan, Honorable Principal Chief Commissioner of Income Tax, Mumbai, and Shri K. Gopal, President of ITIT Mumbai Bar Associations. Sir, joining us virtually today are all the Vice Presidents of all the 10 zones, members of this tribunal across the country, registry officials and staff. We also welcome our respected members, learned Dias, members of the bar, and our dedicated registry staff present here in the hallowed courtroom. On this sacred and solemn day of 26th November, we come together to commemorate the adoption of the Constitution of India, a document that continues to shape our national conscience. It stands not merely as a legal text, but as the foundation of our democratic order and the guiding framework of every institution of the state. The Constitution is not only our democratic scripture, but also our institutional compass. With remarkable foresight, the framers gifted the Republic a charter that harmonized the philosophical depth with practical wisdom, uniting the varied tradition of this civilization into a single sovereign identity. For us, in the Income Tax Tribunal, the Constitution is both and direction. Every order we pronounce, every principle we uphold, draws its legitimacy from the enduring mandate of fairness, equality, and justice. Our task is not limited to deciding disputes. It represents the daily reaffirmation of the constitutional faith and the fulfillment of a solemn public duty. The Constitution does not define powers, it shapes responsibilities. It reminds us that justice must be reasoned, impartial, accessible, and grounded in integrity. As custodians of this institution, we are called upon to uphold the constitutional morality, independence of thought, clarity in reasoning, humility in approach, and fidelity to the rule of law. On this Constitution Day, let us renew our dedication to strengthening public trust, deepening our commitment to the reasoned justice, and upholding the constitutional vision entrusted to us. With these reflections, I request our Honorable President, Justice C.V. Bhadang Sahab, to deliver his welcome speech.
Honorable Shri Justice K.R. Sriram, former Chief Justice Madras and Rajasthan High Court, Srimati Malti Sridharan, Principal Chief Commissioner of Income Tax, Mr. K. Gopal, President, Income Tax Appellate Tribunal Bar Association, Mumbai, my esteemed colleague Shri Amit Shukla, Vice President and members of the Tribunal who are physically present as well as those who have joined virtually, members of the Bar Association, departmental representatives, chartered accountants, officers and members of the staff, and ladies and gentlemen. A very good evening to all of you. I am really happy to welcome you all on the occasion of the Constitution Day celebrations. Today's occasion is special in the sense that the Constitution has completed 75 years of its adoption. As a part of this celebration, we had organized a blood donation camp which received an overwhelming response, witnessing participation by the members as well as the staff and even chartered accountants and officials from the Income Tax Department. We also organized a quiz competition on the Constitution and will be distributing the prizes to the winners of the said competition during this ceremony. It is the common experience that normally we are conscious of the fundamental rights which have been guaranteed by the Constitution, enforcement of which ranks highest in the constitutional philosophy. However, at the same time, Constitution also meticulously provides for directive principles of state policy, most of which have now been read into fundamental rights by the constitutional courts. Above all, the fundamental duties were incorporated in the Constitution way back in the year 1976. Ideally, the object of the observance of the Constitution Day is to remind ourselves of the balance between fundamental rights and fundamental duties, which only can ensure maintenance of rule of law, which is the concept firmly embedded in our constitutional philosophy. The object is to realize the lofty ideals and the dream of the founding fathers in framing the Constitution. A Constitution is said to be an organic law which adapts to the changing circumstances. The ground realities since the Constitution was adopted way back in 1949 have changed significantly. For instance, the Constitution guaranteed fundamental rights to all its citizens when the population of the country was mere 37 crores, which has grown more than threefold now to 140 crores. There are significant advances in the field of technology which have disruptive influence on the existing technologies. There is also a significant change in the societal values since we have gained independence. But notwithstanding this, the Constitution has stood the test of time and is governing the largest democracy in the world. The Constitution, as all of us are aware, has provided for separation of powers between the various organs of governance, which have a definite and defined role within their spheres of operation. The former Chief Justice of India had made a pertinent comment saying that the debate whether the judiciary or the parliament is supreme is unnecessary, as ultimately it is the Constitution which is the supreme law. Today, we are fortunate to have Justice K.R. Sriram as the speaker on the occasion. On a personal note, I have a very long association with him while we were in the Bombay High Court. Justice Sriram has dealt with matters in varied fields which are normally considered to be unconnected with each other. I have seen him initially as a judge on the Admiralty side, followed by a long assignment in criminal law and then the direct tax laws. All these roles and mantle he discharged meticulously and in an effortless manner. Many of his judgments in the field of income tax have been widely appreciated and acknowledged by all the concerned. I welcome you, sir. I also welcome Srimati Malti Sridharan, Principal Chief Commissioner of Income Tax, Mumbai, and Mr. K. Gopal, President of the ITIT Bar Association, Mumbai, and all the dignitaries and invitees present physically as well as virtually. On behalf of the entire ITIT family, I extend my best wishes on the occasion. Thank you.
Now it's the time to extend certain floral welcomes and mementos to our chief guest. Now I request our Honorable President to, as a mark of token of respect and honor, with shawl and shreefal, followed by bouquet. I'll request our President to give him our coffee table book. So this is the chronicle of legacy of the tribunal for 84 years, signifying completion of 1008 full moons. So it carries our entire legacy, history, and the ethos which the tribunal functions with. Now I request Honorable President to welcome Ma'am Malti Sridharan. And also I request Honorable President to honor Mr. K. Gopal with bouquet. We now have the honor of inviting Shri K. Gopal, President ITT Bar, and who represents one of the most coveted and most respected bar of the country. So I request him to kindly address the gathering with his enlightening words.
Honorable Justice K.R. Sriram, former Chief Justice of Madras and Rajasthan High Court. We have been appearing before him in the Bombay High Court day in and day out. And Honorable Justice Mr. C.B. Bhadang, President ITAT, Honorable Members ITAT, learned departmental representatives, my seniors and colleagues in the bar. On 26 November 1949, we the people of India gave to ourselves the Constitution. On 15th August 1947, we as nation got liberation from the centuries of subjugation by foreigners. Within 3 years of our independence, we gave ourselves a Constitution which took care of our reasons for humiliating subjugation, the methods, instruments, and institutions to reclaim our self-esteem, and envision the future of building a developed nation, our Viksit Bharat. Thus, the Constitution Day is a very important day to be observed in India, that is Bharat. Last week, the Honorable Supreme Court has delivered two very important decisions which it has reaffirmed constitutional values of independent judiciary and separation of powers. The apex court in the decisions has referred to Dr. B.R. Ambedkar's speech in the Constituent Assembly on 14th October 1949. I would like to quote that. The provisions of the Constitution are binding upon the different organs of the state. Consequently, it is to be presumed that those who work the Constitution, those who compose the legislature, those who compose the executive and the judiciary know their functions, their limitations, and their duties. It is therefore to be expected that if the executive is honest in working the Constitution, then the executive is bound to obey the legislature without any kind of compulsory obligation laid down in the Constitution. Similarly, if the executive is honest in working the Constitution, it must act in accordance with the judicial decisions given by the Supreme Court. Therefore, my submission is that this is a matter of one organ of the state acting within its own limitations and obeying the supremacy of the other organs of the state. Insofar as the Constitution gives a supremacy to that is a matter of constitutional obligation which is implicit in the Constitution. No constitutional government can function in any country unless any particular constitutional authority remembers the fact that its authority is limited by the Constitution, and that if there is any authority created by the Constitution which has to be decided between that particular authority and any other authority, then the decision of that authority shall be binding upon any other organ. Now, these basic, why the Supreme Court reinforced that in this recent decision was the legislature legislated on particular the piece of legislation which was held to be not valid. It had to struck it down saying that it is a legislative overreach. While doing that, what the Honorable Court observed that in this decision that the underlying principles embodied in it guide not only the judiciary but also the legislature and the executive. While the function of the judiciary is to interpret and protect and expand these fundamental principles, the legislature and the executive are entrusted with duty to give effect to them through law and governance. In their distinct spheres of action, each organ of the state remains bound by common constitutional obligation, respect for and adherence to the supremacy of the Constitution. It is this shared responsibility that ensures unity of purpose within the framework of the separation of powers. As per the Apex Court, Parliament, like every other institution under our constitutional scheme, must operate within the bounds of Constitution. Its discretion is broad, but not absolute. While dealing with that, they said in the immediately next day in another decision, very interesting observation was made by the Apex Court while answering the presidential reference, in which they negated the concept of deemed assent. The Apex Court observed, we have no hesitation in concluding that deemed consent of the governor or president under Article 200 or 201 at the expiry of a judicially set timeline is virtually a takeover and substitution of executive functions of the judiciary through judicial pronouncement, which is impermissible within the contours of our written constitution. These observations of the Supreme Court showed that the vibrance of our constitution lies in the dynamic functioning of the three organs of the state: legislative, executive, and judiciary. When these three organs operate with a conscious self-restraint, the constitutional values are upheld. After they will just taking away from this, Honorable Justice Sriram is here. I was reminded by my senior that he has given a very good exposition on the provisions of 148, and we have put it on our site also. Anybody who wants to learn from that, it's a very exhaustive one. Everybody is welcome to watch it and learn from that. With this, I thank the Tribunal, Honorable President, for giving me this opportunity to give my views on this. Thank you.
So as our Honorable President mentioned, that in the commemoration of this Constitution Day, we had held Constitution Day quiz competition. This competition was to make aware of the various provisions of the Constitution, how it was formed. It contained many questions, and it was participated by all the staff members, and they were divided into 5 groups. And this process, this competition was held, and there are certain winners. So we thought that what could be the better occasion that this prize distribution should be done now by Chief Guest, our Justice K. Sriram. The first prize, we have a Group E, Shri Gauri Shankar Kumar, Shri Prabha Shankar Singh, Shri Dharmendra Meena. So they were the winner of the first prize representing Group E. Then we have a second prize of Group A, Shri Bal Mukund Tiwari, Shri Bipro Mohan Das, and Shri Abhishek Kumar. The third prize goes to Group C, Shri Virendra Kumar, followed by Shri Trilok Pandey, and Shri Deepak Kumar. Sir, we also have this consolation prize represented by Group B, Srimati Joyce D. Toscano, Shri Amit Kumar, and lastly Shri Rabin Kumar. Thank you so much, sir, and congratulations to all the winners. Now, on this sacred occasion, we are especially honored to have with us Justice K.R. Sriram, formerly Kalpati Rajendran Sriram, former Chief Justice of Madras and Rajasthan High Court. For the tax bar, he was the most coveted and respected judge while in Honorable Bombay High Court, who sat on various occasions on tax benches and disposed of several cases. I think everybody sitting here, sir, they are aware of you and one of the most popular judges you have here in Bombay, sir. Born in Mumbai on 28 September 1963, Justice Sriram's academic journey reflects discipline and distinction. After completing his BCom and LLB from the University of Mumbai, he pursued an LLM in maritime law from King's College London, graduating with merit, a testament to his intellectual rigor. His legal career began in 1986 under the senior advocate Shri S. Venkateswaran, and in 1997 he established his own chamber, soon rising to a prominence in commercial law, shipping and international trade law, marine insurance, arbitration, PI matters and the company law. He has appeared in several matters before the Honorable Supreme Court also. Bombay High Court, several other high courts and tribunals such as NCDRC, CSTAT, SAT and CLB. Justice Sriram also served as the core committee of admiralty matters, responsible for proposing unification of original and upper side rules of the Bombay High Court. Beyond the courtroom, he has served as the vice chairman of the Dharmishtha Mitran, offering compassionate support to families during bereavement. A man of refined taste, he is also an avid golfer and a traveler. He was elevated as the additional judge of Bombay High Court in 2013, became a permanent judge in 2016. Then he was appointed as the Chief Justice of Madras High Court in 2024 and served as the 43rd Chief Justice of Rajasthan High Court until his superannuation in September 2025. His presence lends gravitas and dignity to our Constitutional Day observance, and we look forward to his guidance as we honor the ideals that shape our work. It is now my honor to invite our Chief Guest, Justice K. Sriram, to address us and share his reflections.
Thank you. Good evening, everybody. This is when you speak last as the chief guest on an occasion like this, most of the things what we have written has already been spoken by others. Brother Justice C.V. Badang, President ITAT, who was my colleague in Bombay High Court, the vice presidents who are appearing on VC, Ms. Malati Sridharan, Principal CCIT, and today I was pleasantly informed that two of the finest members of HIOBA are related to her. Mr. Amit Shukla, member, Mr. Narendra Chaudhary, member, Ms. Beena Pillai, member, Sri Gopal, President ITAT, Sri Poras Kaka, Dr. Shivram, Mr. Rande Rujana, whom I see here, members of the tax bar, all members of the registry, ladies and gentlemen, good evening to all of you. At the outset, I should thank Justice Badang and I'm sure Mr. Chaudhary also to have invited me for this Constitution Day celebrations. I wouldn't have otherwise set foot in this office because I have never been in the tax practice. I never actually knew where ITAT existed. The Constitution Day, as we all know, is celebrated on 26 November every year, as this is to commemorate the adoption of the Constitution of India and to honor Dr. Bhimrao Ambedkar. The Constituent Assembly to draft and finalize the Constitution met for 165 days in 11 sessions spread over nearly 3 years. The Constitution of India that was adopted on 26 November 1949 was signed on 24th January 1950 by 284 members of the Constituent Assembly. It took effect 2 days later, 26 January 1950. It is, as we all again know, the lengthiest and most detailed written constitution in the world, which also indicates the effort that has gone in to create this magnum opus. The Constitution had not only a vision of the future, but also an inert message of peace and tranquility. Here I will quote Dr. B.R. Ambedkar. He said, quote, "Democracy is not merely a form of government. It is primarily a mode of associated living, of conjoint communicated experience. It is essentially an attitude of respect and reverence towards fellow men." The Assembly included members elected by the provincial legislatures of British India as well as representatives chosen by the rulers of the princely states. The Indian National Congress won the great majority of the seats in the Assembly. Various segments of Indian society were represented. Members of the Assembly included Hindus, Muslims, Sikhs, people from different castes and tribes, women, and others. The Constitution of India is a fundamental document that represents the aspiration of the people of India. The preamble begins with the words, "We, the people of India," which denotes that the people of India are the ultimate leaders. People's power is exercised at the ballot box. The Constitution is handed over by the people of India themselves and not from a king or any outside power. The Indian Constitution, being a modern-day constitution, was ahead of its time as it granted voting rights to all its citizens. The Constitution also emphasizes, in principle, the principal values of justice, liberty, equality, and fraternity, which are the main objective of the Indian Constitution. All the laws laid down by the legislature will have to be drafted keeping in mind these principles. The Constitution's main purpose is to safeguard individual dignity and national unity. Dr. Ambedkar said, "Ours is a battle, not for wealth, nor for power. Ours is battle for freedom, for reclamation of human personality." It is a unique document that attempts to balance the fundamental rights of the people and socio-economic interest and security of the nation. It lays down provisions that lay down the detailed administrative structure for governance right from the central level to the local body government. The organs of the government, executive, legislature and judiciary are independent of each other, thus ensuring the smooth functioning of democracy while ensuring necessary checks and balances. Judiciary has played an important role in the evolution of the Indian Constitution as a liberal document that secures the rights of individuals as well as community rights. It was the judiciary that settled the dispute on whether Parliament had the power to make amendments to the Constitution. Judiciary laid down the basic structure principle to prevent misuse of power by the legislature while framing any laws. In the last 75 years now, the Constitution has been amended 105 times. One such example would be the wide and liberal interaction of Article 21, which was interpreted to include many important facets of life and was not limited only to the right to ordinary life. Thus, it was held by the courts that the right to life would mean a dignified life and not merely an inanimate existence. Olga Tellis versus Bombay Municipal Corporation. The right to livelihood was read with the right to life. It included the right to a speedy trial in Husainara Khatun versus State of Bihar, the right to privacy in Govind versus State of MP, the right to education in Mohini Jain versus State of Karnataka and Unnikrishnan versus State of Andhra Pradesh, a right to legal aid, Sheila Barse versus Union of India, right against torture, Sunil Batra versus Delhi administration. The judiciary has gone to the extent of forming guidelines on matters which were not dealt with by the Constitution expressly. And those guidelines have been incorporated as special legislations by the Parliament and the state legislatures. For example, the Supreme Court of India in D.K. Basu versus State of Bengal laid down the guidelines for police to follow at the time of arrest and during the time of police detention. Similarly, the rights against sexual harassment in workplaces, known as Vishaka guidelines, are to be followed at all workplaces to prevent and punish any sexual harassment of a female employee at their workplaces. The judiciary also developed the concept of public interest litigation, which diluted the principle of locus standi. This was one more achievement towards the liberal interpretation of the Indian Constitution. This provided space and legitimacy to public-spirited citizens to take up cases of public interest to the courts and get the court to notice such situations where their interference is required. The Supreme Court, while dealing with the restrictive grip of the Medical Termination of Pregnancy Act 1971 and its rules of 2003, which barred unmarried women from terminating pregnancies which are up to 24 weeks old, observed the rights of reproductive autonomy, dignity and privacy under Article 21 of the Constitution gives an unmarried woman the right of choice as to whether or not to bear a child on a similar footing as that of a married woman. The fundamental duties of the Indian Constitution represent a set of responsibilities laid down for its citizens. These duties serve as a gentle reminder that along with our fundamental rights, we also have certain obligations towards the country we belong to. Essentially, they highlight the moral and ethical commitments every citizen is expected to uphold to contribute to the nation's harmony, progress, and democratic strength. In addition to our fundamental rights, it is equally important to understand and spread awareness about our fundamental duties. These duties added to the Constitution through the 42nd Amendment in 1976 and later expanded in 2002 remind us that democracy thrives only when citizens balance their freedoms with responsibility. They encourage us to uphold national unity, respect our heritage, protect the environment, maintain harmony, and contribute to the nation's progress. The courts and our leaders have repeatedly emphasized that these duties are essential for shaping disciplined, responsible, and patriotic citizens. As Gandhiji said, rights come from duty well performed. So it is important for all of us to recognize that every right carries a corresponding responsibility, and the strength of our country depends on citizens who honor both. The Supreme Court, in examining the Tribunal Reforms Act 2021, emphasized the essential need to safeguard the independence of tribunals. It observed that certain provisions granting excessive executive control over appointments and tenure were inconsistent with constitutional principles. By setting these aside, the court reaffirmed the doctrine of separation of powers and underscored that tribunals must operate with autonomy to ensure fairness and integrity in the administration of justice. It is an important reminder of the need to preserve judicial independence. The court reaffirmed that tribunals must function with autonomy and fairness, free from any undue influence. This judgment strengthens the principle of separation of powers and upholds the integrity of our justice system. In the 16th presidential reference, rendered under Article 143, the Honorable Supreme Court has reaffirmed the constitutional position that neither the court nor any authority may circumscribe by judicially imposed timelines the discretion vested in the President or the Governor while acting under Article 200 and 201. The bench unequivocally held that the doctrine of deemed assent finds no foundation in the constitutional text or scheme, and that importing such a doctrine would impermissibly trench upon the separation of powers and disturb the delicate federal balance. At the same time, the court underscored that constitutional authorities are not at liberty to keep bills pending in perpetuity, as such inaction would offend constitutional morality and undermine the democratic mandate of the legislature. The Constitution is a revolutionary document, as it did not only survive any crisis but also help India flourish into the country that it is today. Granville Austin, the eminent scholar and political biographer of the Indian Constitution, pointed out that the Indian Constitution is first and foremost a social document. Many of its provisions are either directly aimed at furthering the goal of the social revolution or attempting to speed up this revolution by establishing the conditions necessary for its achievement. Thus, Constitution is not only a legal charter that lays down the law of governance, but also the nation's commitment to constitutional values of modern liberal democracy, human rights, social justice, national equity, unity, and the welfare of all. I urge everyone present here, as also online, that we continue to follow the constitutional values and live by it. Thank you very much. Good evening.
Thank you so much, sir, for describing us in detail how the judiciary has safeguarded the principles enshrined in the constitutions and how the scope of rights and liberties have been expanded within that framework of the constitution. Now it's time for vote of thanks. Honorable Justice K. Sriram, our President Justice Sri Bhadang Sahab, Madam Malti Sridharan, K. Gopal, President ITT Bar, all the Vice Presidents who have joined virtually, members across the country, members present here, and all those dignitaries present in that hallowed courtroom. As we draw this commemorative program to a close, it is my privilege to extend, on behalf of the Income Tax Appellate Tribunal, our deepest gratitude to all who have graced this Constitutional Day celebration. At the outset, we express our heartfelt thanks to Justice K.R. Sriram for his presence today and for sharing his wisdom with such depth and clarity about the fundamental of constitutional values, which we all must carry because we are performing our public functions and duties within the framework of that constitutional which our forefathers and founding fathers have given to us. We are equally grateful to our President, Justice C.V. Bhadang Sahab, for his guidance and leadership in steering and galvanizing his whole team for this Constitutional Day celebration program. He has always taken a very keen initiative for each and every program and functions and goes into very deep details of taking care of every minute aspect. He has always been a great team leader, and within short notice, the way he had organized the blood camp, the way he has guided us for this quiz and this function, it is all under his guidance and leadership, with the way he galvanizes people. So that is something which we all must very thankful to him. We also express our heartfelt thanks to Ma'am Malti Sridharan, Principal Chief Commissioner of Income Tax, for gracing the occasion on this Constitutional Commemorative Day. I also thank Mr. K. Gopal for sharing his views on giving various aspects of various principles and quotes by our founding father and the father of the Constitution, Dr. B.R. Ambedkar. We thank our honorable vice presidents among all the zones who have virtually joined, members of the tribunal who have virtually joined, learned Diaz, the senior advocates and counsels from the bar, our dedicated registry officials whose effort ensure the smooth conduct of this event. With deep appreciation to all present today, we now conclude this ceremony. Thank you so much. May I request everyone to rise for the national anthem.
जन गण मन अधिनायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता पंजाब सिंध गुजरात मराठा द्राविड़ उत्कल बंगा विंध्य हिमाचल यमुना गंगा उच्चल जलधि तरंगा तव शुभ नामे जागे तव शुभ आशीष मांगे गाहे तव जय गाथा जन गण मंगलदायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता जय हे जय हे जय हे जय 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 हे
Request all the members to high tea organized by the ITT Bar Bombay. So we'll all request to reach to the library.